computer? Okay. Okay. So it cut off. I've relaunched the meeting, so this will be part 2, and I'll keep this one shorter. So I had just been talking about the different disorders that we've noticed, the different symptoms, the syndromes, and so forth, and how things changed in the medical field. So instead of being able to order a test to rule out a problem, they changed it. And by they, I mean CMS, Centers for Medicare. They basically dictate what happens in the system. So whatever they say happens with Medicare and Medicaid patients, here comes Brenda. Okay, I think perfect. Okay, you're in there, Brenda. Sorry about that happening. So part 2 here on the hidden enemy. It cut off. I'll keep this one a little shorter than the 40 minutes for sure. But I'm now talking about how it happened in the medical field. So we weren't allowed to diagnose problems and order lots of tests anymore to diagnose them. So what happened was Centers for Medicare and Medicaid said, we want you to do it this way. Once they say that, the doctors comply or they can't see those patients and bill for them. And then, hold on, let me get this out of my way. Okay. And then they, sorry, that was a squirrel in front of me, it practically sidetracked me. So in the healthcare field, Centers for Medicare said, do it this way, and everybody complied. Then it trickled down to the insurance companies, the private ones. So Kaiser Permanente was the biggest one, been around for the longest, and all of them from there, they just follow lockstep. They do what the others do. The coding system was changed so that every word that the doctor talks about with you has a coded number. If you have a sign or a symptom, you report anything to them in the transcription, it all gets it's numerology. It's all a number. So instead of going in and getting your medical records, which they couldn't read the doctor's writing, they now have full access to everything. HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, they used that to trick people again. Everyone thought that that was giving you privacy. It's not. It's the exact opposite. You're signing the waiver saying you give your permission not to be notified anymore every time they use your records for treatment, payment, and operations, TPO. And we teach this in the classes too. Nurses don't get this training. Nurses don't get any of the training to do with medical offices, billing, coding, insurance, none of that. They're dealing with the patient, so mostly symptoms, drug effects, patient care, family, all of that stuff. So for us, I'm learning front and back, and I'm seeing the doctors change the way they treat patients. So for example, Florida, I worked in northern Florida, and Alabama's right there. So we were seeing patients that would have Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida. One of the doctors I worked for, when a patient would call, because I did scheduling too, when a patient would call and we would ask for their insurance information, I would know based on the doctor's behaviors and the insurance the patient had, that if the patient had cramping, unexplained bleeding between periods, and they were from Florida, they would not be getting all the testing that the patient from Alabama would be getting. The patient from Alabama would be getting a list of tests in order, and I was the one who would set them up. And then the next set of tests, and then these particular procedures. And then when all that was exhausted, because Alabama turned nothing down, they paid, everything. Florida was saying no to everything. It was like pulling teeth with them. So she just, Blue Cross Blue Shield Alabama patients got better care, or did they? They were getting unnecessary procedures and tests and so forth. And some of these can be harmful to people. They can have an allergic reaction and die from them. So getting all of that extra treatment, I saw something, I didn't see it. The nurses that replaced me when I left there told me about it. That the doctor grabbed formalin instead of sterile saline, and that formalin was injected into the patient, and the patient was never told. I reported to the medical director, to the doctor I worked for that owned the offices and so forth. And, I was horrified. I was horrified. And the excuse that they didn't tell her was, well, she's 44, she's already had her kids. But when you look up what formalin is and what it does, it's our specimen cups when we take biopsies of anything off your body, inside or outside your body, we put it in formalin and it goes in to pathology and it's tested. Well, that formalin is like a form of formaldehyde, and just even inhaling it can cause esophageal cancer. So they are harming people, and things get kept secret. It happens more frequently when somebody would know. And that was mislabeling, having labels that were similar to each other in a cabinet after a night of drinking because it was after a Christmas party. You want to, and I told you this before, treat people, pets, and plants. So I'll go back to that. There are sprays for your plants. I was making the mistakes of bringing my plants in, lots of livestock, like I said. I bring the plants in, and normally I used to treat them. This year I forgot. I don't know why. I was working a lot and didn't do it, but now my plants are pest-free. Your beds, your floors, your furniture, your clothing, your makeup. If you identify that your problems get better, if you have any skin rashes, I will do a separate one. It's very hard to find photos of these things because I kind of think they are suppressing the information, to be honest with you. But you want to switch everything. I went through a period where it was a little hard to deal with. I was very freaked out about these parasites. But once I understood why we were told about the ivermectin and what it does, here's how it works. The ivermectin, once you take it, the next time, say this parasite bites you under your skin, in your body, whatever, the drugs work in different ways. Some of them will paralyze it. Some of them will get them to stop breeding and feeding. Some of them will die instantly with certain drugs, and will be flushed out of your body. You can expect possibly constipation. So especially if it's somebody elderly and they're trying this, I personally want to eat healthy going into it. I want to eat lots of fiber. There's certain laxatives you can use, baths and so forth. I don't use laxatives, but in the bath, I'll use Epsom salts. There's some that are, I've got them right here. Hold on a second. There's some that are better than others. Different results that they have. Activated charcoal is one that's really good for a good detox. Good salt scrubs. Ginger and clay is really good and soothing. Be very careful after you take the ivermectin. My warning to everybody, the results can be so good that you can hurt yourself. So I got a treadmill and I'm running, well, I was going to walk, and I never run. My mom knows this because I had thunder thighs when I was a kid, but I don't like running. I don't want to sweat. So I'll do weights and so forth. So I get on this treadmill, and the next thing I know, I'm running. I'm like, oh, thank you, God. I feel like Rocky. I'm on this thing. So fine, no problem. I do that again, and I overdid it the second time. I'm just getting able to walk again. And another weird side effect, who would have thought that I would have had anything in my feet? But the two little bunions that I had are not bunions. They got sore. I woke up and like, oh, my feet hurt. What's going on? Sure enough, they must be some kind of helminth that get in your feet from underneath. So that was another wonderful side effect. My feet are very soft now. My hands are getting soft too. My nails are pretty weak from all that Keralite gel. Don't get that on your nails. I think it did work on those. So some different things I got. The neem oil is another one of the oils that you can use to get rid of parasites. It kind of stinks. I didn't even like the smell of it. I smelled all funky all night, and I just had to put the covers up to here, and I'm like, that smells gross. So then the next day I used my Karanja oil with it. Don't be afraid to mix some of these suckers. You've got to use, for them to be, soaking, it's a few drops in the tub. This one, mineral oil, is called a carrier oil. It helps these oils enter your body. However, it's very greasy. I don't like it. You can use the vegetable oils, and I'm not talking about your Crisco vegetable oil. I am talking about pure, like, sweet almond oil. That's a good one. The avocado, love that one. Test them out. Try one at a time. That's what I did. Each bath was different. Sometimes I'd bathe 3, 4 times a night. I couldn't sleep. So I would try them out and then I would see which ones I would like. And now I'm mixing them up like, you know, I'll show you. I've got a bowl, got my spoons, and I work with the oils. I got sweet oil, which, you know, after studying, sweet oil is just olive oil, but it worked. My mom used it when we were a kid. So lemon, pure lemon oil. And this one has a couple of other things in there I cannot read without my glasses. Jojoba oil and the tea tree oil, I think, was really, really important. My sister was the one who told me about peppermint oil. So I had already known about Dr. Bronner's. So when I found I could, you know, do my peppermint and my Dr. Bronner's together, this works really well. There are some soaps and things out there. If you do have a parasite that you're trying to identify, maybe I can help with that identification. I'm willing to help people with this. I don't want to be seen as giving medical advice because I'm certainly not doing that. I had my own health issues my whole life. But I've looked for a cure and I prayed about it. And 14 years ago, when I moved here, I realized I'm not an atheist that I used to claim to be because the medical field kind of convinced me, you know, dead is dead. I actually said that to my mom. I'm sorry, mommy. But God is very real. And in all of the proofs that I found, the most important resource, because I know from college, I had to resource at least 3, right? 2, 3. I'm resourcing these things 4 times. I'm getting tons of proof, surgeries, reports from doctors, peer-reviewed studies, all of these things. But the Bible is the most important one to me. And I've always been able to read the Bible in the last 14 years and say, I read it and I interpret it pretty literal. I don't have to twist anything. And if it doesn't make sense, I just make note of it and come back to it. There's real interpretation there. Isaiah is the one I was studying the other night, because what happens is there's prophets in the Torah in the Old Testament, and then there's the minor prophets as well. So I wanted to see what they said. And I've always read things like about parasites, God's great army, the worms, they eat your flesh. And when I went back and pulled up all of the verses related to worms and flesh and skin and destruction and all these things, it brought up the most amazing verses that just laid it right out. And every one that talked about those worms clearly said that they ate the flesh and then they died. It destroyed their flesh and then they died. If I can find these, I'll do it really quickly because I think it's so important, because there are a lot of Christians that I cannot convince, but if they can see for themselves in the Bible, there's their proof. And, you know, different dewormers, natural ones, pumpkin seeds, papaya seeds, oh, they're amazing. And yummy, 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 yummy. I've been craving, and before I found out about coconut, I was craving coconut and cranberries, and I was just eating them like crazy. And then I find out that they're good for, you know, my issues. So Job, is it Job or Job? Job 19:26, and I took this from the English Standard Version. And after my skin has been thus destroyed, yet in my flesh I still shall see God. My flesh is clothed with worms and dirt. My skin hardens, then breaks out afresh. That's Job 7:5. I mean, how much more could he have explained this to us? My flesh is clothed with worms and dirt. My skin hardens, then breaks out afresh. And he tells us, it's all of us. If I say to the pit, you are my father, and to the worm, my mother or my sister. And that comes from Job 17:14. Here's one. And God can strike you down these ways. Acts 12:20-23. Now Herod was angry with the people of Tyre and Sidon, and they came to him with one accord. Having persuaded Blastus, the king's chamberlain, they asked for peace, because their country depended on the king's country for food. On an appointed day, Herod put on his royal robes. He took his seat upon the throne, and he delivered an oration to them. And the people were shouting, "The voice of a God and not of a man." Immediately, an angel of the Lord struck him down because he did not give God the glory, and he was eaten by worms and breathed his last. And this is the last one, I do believe. And how many times did the Bible say that, the thief that comes in the night and they steal your joy. They steal your security. I know they make you live in fear, and I'm not living in fear anymore. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And so in Joel 1:4, it said, what the cutting locust left, the swarming locust has eaten. What the swarming locust left, the hopping locust has eaten. And what the hopping locust left, the destroying locust has eaten. The word of the Lord that came to Joel, the son of Pethuel. Hear this, you elders. Give ear, all inhabitants of the land. Has such a thing happened in your days or in the days of your fathers? Tell your children of it, and let your children tell their children and their children to another generation what the cutting locust left, the swarming locust has eaten. What the swarming locust left, the hopping locust has eaten, and the rest of that. And what the hopping locust left, the destroying locust has eaten. Awake, you drunkards, and weep and wail, all you drinkers of wine, because of the sweet wine, for it is cut from your mouth. For come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall become like wool. And to the choir master, according to the doe of the dawn, a psalm of David, my God, have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me? From the words of my groaning, oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but I find no rest. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. In you our fathers trusted, they trusted, and you delivered them. To you they cried and were rescued. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I just wanted to know people to know that there is so much biblical reference to this if you look those up. And I want to do a Constitution study and a Bible study with people if they want to do it with me. So those are my new book clubs if you want. All right, what else? Treatment. Each person's going to have to figure out what they have. The way I treated my house, and I want you to understand, some of it had to do with me worried about bed bugs or anything like that. My husband was a pilot, and we couldn't find any evidence of it. But I suspected because of my legs, and he didn't have any problems. And I found where some people are, don't know, and that didn't make sense. And I couldn't find them. I cleaned often. I turned my bed, my mattress, changed my sheets, all those things. So after a night of not being able to sleep, and I got mad. I'm sorry, husband. Got mad at him, got him up, and I said, I've had enough. You are going to look, and we are going to find them. I got his glasses, a magnifying glass. I don't remember what else, a flashlight, and a pair of scissors. And I think he thought I was going to kill him because the flashlight's also a weapon. So anyways, I cut open the mattress, and it wasn't a lot, but I found them. They were there. And the mattresses, I think, are quilted the way they are with all those individual threads for a reason, because bed bugs are flat and they can get in those thread holes. So we wouldn't even see them there. Why are they quilting the top of our mattress thread? It doesn't make sense. It's hidden. I mean, really, think about this. Think about these things. Because when we were kids, those, furniture buttons, things get into there. So you have to watch out for, stuff like that. So why worry about it? Just get the mattress protectors. They have patented mattress protectors and box spring protectors. They've got all kinds of things. I tried the ultrasonic pest control. I don't really believe that they work. I have proof they didn't work. I could hear a mouse in the wall by the garage, right where the thing was at. So the mouse did not care, or it was trying to unplug it. I don't know what it was doing. I would not put any money in those anymore. So the mattress protectors, there was one thing that they never told us, I never heard this before, but the HEPA filtration, they do tell you about this in your vacuum. My worst nightmare, I always wondered, do those things come back out of the vacuum? Like if you suck up a spider, is he still alive? Yes, they do. So they do come back out. My trick to doing that, I was taping the end of my vacuum, but I don't know if they can get out anywhere else. So I have a big tub. I have a couple of them now. And so I have a canister vac, HEPA filtration system on it. You can change the bag often, but it costs money. So don't change it all the time. So I seal it inside. Hold on, I've got somebody else coming in. Welcome to those coming in. Sorry, we're already started. This is we got cut off after the first 40 minutes. And so we started again. So at this point, I've gone through a lot, so you'll have to go back and watch the other video. So now we're going through kind of the treatment, removal, prevention type thing. So I use the big Tupperware bin to put my canister vacuum in and seal it in there. It just, comes apart and fits in there perfectly. And then what else did we do? I bleach a lot of things, and I'm sure there's lots more natural remedies, and I'm going to learn about those, but I needed to bleach. So I felt better after that. Let it stay wet for 10 minutes on the surfaces of things, your tables, your chairs, your bathtubs, your floors. There are such a thing as tile worms. I've never heard of them, and I love laying tile. So, anyways, just so many little things that they have told us, that are not, they're just myths. They're to say that we don't have these parasites, they're everywhere. Depression, the toxoplasmosis, that one is during pregnancy, but it could be any time, not just during pregnancy. If you had that one, you could have anger problems, you could have depression, you could have mental anguish. Kids, think about their acne. They have back acne. Typically, these are some type of parasite on their skin, human itch mites. They've got all different names, and they keep switching the names. Is that deliberate too? Possibly. I link all of this back to Germany. Once I found out that the Bush family is the Schurf family that worked against Tesla and for Adolf Hitler, stealing all of Tesla's stuff and giving it to them, then changing their name when they came over to this country and ascended to presidency, they took over the drug industry because they owned oil, and petroleum drugs are very harmful. So we might have to detox from the chemicals, we need to detox from the leads and the metals, and we need to detox from the parasites. So there's several, like I said, ways to do that. While you're doing these things, you want to avoid constipation and check your contraindications with your medications. So if you're on warfarin, blood thinners of any kind, if you go in and you read, the indication said ivermectin and warfarin. Taking ivermectin increases the effects of warfarin. Go ahead. Did you have a question, Anne Marie? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Okay, so ivermectin, if it increases the effect of warfarin, what is that doing? Warfarin thins your blood. If your blood is becoming thinner, isn't that a good thing? So that means you wouldn't need your medicine anymore. They're not going to tell you the ivermectin is working by killing parasites in your blood, thinning your blood from them, so you wouldn't need your warfarin, right? So you may get some relief from some of the drugs they're giving you, but chronically your problems are going to keep coming back. I started to learn, like I said, to identify the parasites, the life cycle of them, and then I could kind of figure out more about what they were. Once I was able to remove some of them from my body under the microscope, I could really identify them. So don't do that. I don't advise it. If you want help trying to do some of this, I'm going to put together, like I said, those videos that'll be more specific to the actual removal, different things we have to use. I'll try to set it up in some way that I could use the chat. Okay, I see. Yep, chat's working. There was some in the other chat and I didn't get to read them before the meeting ended. I'll try to look back for that. So we covered quite a few things. From the 50s, they stopped deworming us. In the 60s, it's all skin, roaring fun, you know, parties, drugs, rock and roll, things that would cause us, you know, through sin and exposing our skin. We bear the guilt. It's not just the doctors. It's, you know, even the doctors are misled because they're taught in school. If your doctor, healthcare worker, isn't looking at your stuff under a microscope, you don't need to be seeing them. If my doctor, she can't do anything. She doesn't do biopsies. She doesn't do this. She doesn't do that. She has to send me out to somebody. That's why she's not my doctor anymore. I'll do all my own stuff right here on my own microscope. You can go to the doctor and get, you can have blood parasites checked on a blood culture. They have to draw them at intervals. And the problem with some of these tests is you get the false negative because if they're not drawn exactly right, the skin isn't prepped exactly right, or the parasite itself hasn't released eggs or anything during that couple of hours that they're doing this, stool samples. That's why we do them in 3 collections, because it is hard to find all of these things in there. But you can go try all of these, or in my opinion, because we used to deworm everybody to begin with, up until the 50s, I'm just going back to deworming, and we're going to do it twice a year with the ivermectin. And I am, like I said, looking at those other methods. I want to know how they work, so I'm trying them out with the coconut and the essential oils as well. So does anybody have any questions? I'm also taking vitamins, and that's going to be different regimen for each of you. You know, if you, for me, I'm weaning off my thyroid med. So I'm taking selenium. If you have any problems, you drink, your liver might have more issues if you've taken a lot of medications, which of course I did. I am doing the liver health ones, the milk thistle. What else? Vitamin C, vitamin D. I'm anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 units a day because I forget to take it sometimes. So zinc does not work unless you take it with quercetin, or I just simply like Q-tonic. This is the regular one, but they were out of it, but I normally get the light. The reason I get Q-tonic, and it's available at Albertsons, we have Jewel here, check Publix, Mom, or when you're in Florida, Sylvia. But you can get the light one, but there's no high fructose corn syrup in it. There's no real crazy additives or anything like that. So this helps the zinc get in your cells. I can take all the zinc I want. It's just not going to be absorbed. I'm not going to get the benefits. So take the Q-tonic or quercetin. There's a way to make hydroxychloroquine with the grapefruit and the lemon peels and so forth. But I really kind of like the Q-tonic, and so I've been drinking that. What else? I think that kind of covers it. Vitamin C. Again, and Sylvia, you brought this up. The COVID dose is 5 days of the 12 milligrams, 1 a day, empty stomach, big glass of water. I believe the reason they're doing it that way is because if you have an initial parasite infestation, say you go down to Costa Rica, you go to a couple of places, maybe you eat some, you know, you go to the raw fish market, you go to a restaurant that's known for raw foods, you're eating a lot of fruit, you get a parasite that way. You may not get sick for a day or two or a couple of hours, and your stomach starts rumbling. Your spouse, he's fine, but it hits you hard, you're bent over type thing. So that could be Giardia. It is letting me know I'm running out of time, so I'll wrap this up for you guys. So different parasites, it could be an initial infestation, so that 5-day dosage is then recommended for those. And again, I had crusted wounds that were extreme. And so the peer-reviewed studies of the worst case scenarios where my grade of wound fit right in there, I'm now doing that regimen 1 every 2 weeks. I'm kind of doing my own, and I'm really about to not have to take them anymore because I'm healing so well. So hopefully I won't be on any of these meds. And like I said, I'm at 5 weeks now. My husband's taken it. A lot of people have ordered it from Canada. The place you order it, I'm going to type it in here. It's Health World. If you want to write it down, Health World. CP, C is in cat, P is in Paul.com. Now, I know my mom ordered it too. And, everybody's like, well, you said you were healed when you did this. You said you were healed when you did that. Go do this research. Go see the things that ivermectin cures. Look and see if you have any of those general symptoms. It's up to you. If you want to go get tested and confirm, but I'm just worried that you might get a false negative. That's the only thing. And I don't want you to continue to suffer because of a false negative like that. Heal yourself. And then if your spouse sees that healing, they'll just want to take it. It's up to you. That's the way I did it. I'm not trying to push this on anyone. And hopefully in 3 more weeks, I want to make sure I will take the photos again, God help me, and no makeup, and I will see and let others see where I'm at. So, varicose veins and all. So that way you can tell for sure. So if you want to wait until then, but we have several family members that are going to take it as well. And when I ordered it from healthworldcp.com, there was a couple of people that chimed in on my Facebook thread. You might want to go back to that initial post. I'll try to find that again and repost it. But in the thread, in the comments, other people were posting ways to get ivermectin. And I do believe one of them was cheaper than where I've been getting it. So we got 30 pills, which are lasting, because you don't need that many. If you take the COVID dose, that would be 5 days in a row. So 5 pills, both of us, that would have been 10 pills. That's 1 pack. When you order those, they come as 10 in a pill pack. So if you had 30, that's enough for you and your spouse to get sick 3 different times and have enough dosage for that. And then I know other people in my family that want it. So I've ordered another package. That's what I just got in the mail the other day. After 3 weeks, got that. And hell, I'll probably have them order more. I've ordered dewormer for my dog. The Bear was the one that the gal recommended to me. Bear has a brand of dewormer. I'm not sure if that's a good brand or not, but she recommended it. I'm going to find out. I have a little tiny dog, so I'll probably cut the dose if I can. And if anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat right there. I'll try to figure out ways to make this video available as soon as we're done. It converted the other one. I'll see if I can find it and post it. We can just share the information. And right back to the Bible one more time. The craziest thing I thought of the other day, it's just so simple. God in the beginning told them not to eat, and Eve bit of the apple, and fruit has a lot of parasites in it. And if she had bitten into the apple and gotten a parasite, she would have developed a rash on her body, been embarrassed, and they would have covered themselves. And God said, why are you covering yourselves? Because we're naked. How do you know? Oh, you bit the apple. Just my take on that. Anyway, so can I offer anything else, or is everybody good? Anne Marie, thanks for coming in, you guys. Brenda and Denise, I see you guys in there. My mom and Sylvia are in here too. So I've got my cell phone. I'll turn that back on, and anybody can text me. I think these videos are going to be on Tuesday nights because that kind of works out good. I'm busy sometimes on Mondays and Wednesdays with work and the girl and the gun, grandkids on Thursdays. So Tuesday is the night of the week that might work best for me. I don't know about you guys, but like I said, I'll record it if I can. Oh, good. Thanks. Okay. All right. Yeah, right. I know. And you've went through a great detox too, dear, but I still wonder if there might be more, right? My Aunt Joanne has a lot of problems with her hands. I do believe this is going to fix that for her. Absolutely. So we'll very soon see. And if you take it, you guys, or anyone that takes it, that's coming back, like my friend JA with their gastrointestinal, and Brad and all them with their healing, please tell me, because I want to share this. This is the only way. If we witness and we give testimony, God will heal our land. Confess your sins, cleanse yourselves, cleanse your kids, take care of everyone. And things are changing very quickly for this world. I know. Denise ordered today. Awesome, Denise. You were just gonna love it. I know. The cures have been there. They just hid it from us. They hid it from us. And there's so many natural cures. They've made so much money, all those industries, surgery, all of it. So if, surgery's still going to be around, there's going to be, still car accidents and things like that, still injuries, sports and stuff. But I say take up guns, and that's a good exercise, right? That's what Thomas Jefferson said. So thank you for sharing that one. Anne Marie's got one there, chemist.com. And is that another good resource for ivermectin. I want to check the pricing on there too, because the 30 I got came out to $185. It says expedited shipping is available, but it's not when you get it. And by the way, when you order the ivermectin through healthworldcp.com, they do call you a few minutes afterwards. And I know this meeting's going to end soon, so if it cuts off, that's what's happening. But so I'll wrap this up. So they will call you, verify your information for shipping, and then they will ship it out to you. So that's it. Thank you so much for sharing that on there, Anne Marie. I appreciate that. And let me know if you guys have any questions going forward, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this was useful, a good use of your time tonight. I do hope you got something out of it. And I'm going to share some links. I'll probably put those on my Facebook. I have a favorites where I've saved them all. And if you go into my YouTube, there might be a playlist, so I can save those as well. I've made those available under the playlist for parasites. There's lots of frequencies. It's music in certain megahertz that you can listen to on YouTube for removing toxins, parasites, fat cells. I don't always listen to them while I'm sleeping anymore, but I do when I'm in the bathtub, when I'm meditating. If it helps me focus on God and, cleansing a little better, I use them. So check out those frequencies, Saphagios, or I can't remember how to say it. There are certain frequencies, and you can look into those as well. All right, so good night, you guys. God bless, and thank you, God, for all you've done for me.